What is it about our nation that intrigues you? That makes you want to take a test that may decide whether you will or will not become a citizen of this great country? That makes you want to take a test that you may or may not pass just to simply become a citizen? These aren't sarcastic remarks if you want to be asking me that, but rather serious questions you should be delving into and possibly thinking about before even considering entering this masterful and great nation. The citizenship test is a test that all immigrants between the age of 14 and 64 must complete and pass before becoming citizens of Canada. It is the final step a person must accomplish before the citizenship ceremony occurs. The test asks about the geographical and physical geography of Canada, which should be outlined in your given textbook. Cultural history and symbols are also in your textbook, as well as the rights and freedoms of Canadian citizens, which will be what we will be elaborating on today, as well as the benefits of living in a wondrous and strong, powerful, great democratic society. Center has probably put up this video for you to watch, so you can gain a better understanding of the country of Canada and to better know how to act and be a part of it. You may think that the history and political system of Canada is the most important thing to know about this country, but it truly isn't. There is something even more important. Some may even consider this to be the absolute most important thing before becoming a Canadian citizen. That outlines what you should have as a Canadian citizen. That outlines what you should or shouldn't do, what you can or can't do. But most importantly, what you specifically, you as an individual, what you are capable of doing. Without the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, this majestic place, as we once know it, might probably have not been as it is great as it is today. The Charter of Rights and Freedoms is known as the Reasonable Limits Clause. It allows the rights and freedoms of any individual to be limited if there is a reason to do so. For example, the act of hate crime, which is not tolerated in our beloved country. The Charter of Rights and Freedoms outlines the fundamental freedoms of all Canadian citizens, which are outlined into 4 areas: freedom of conscience and religion, freedom of thought, belief, opinion and expression, as well as freedom of peaceful assembly and freedom of association. Clause of freedom of thought, belief, and expression includes the forms of social media, written text, different types of art, as well as film. Conscience and religion guarantees that all Canadian citizens have the right to practice, or in many cases, not practice, any religion they desire. This is something all Canadians should be extremely proud of, since many countries do not have the luxury that we do of being able to decide what religion they want to practice, and in many cases are forced into following one. For example, in Saudi Arabia, as you are born to be a Muslim, you are not allowed to change your religion of being a Muslim or a part of Islam. You will be sentenced to death if done otherwise, likely from hanging. In the case of being hanged,
for in which you have changed your religion is not a possibility, which is just another reason to love our beloved country. Freedom of peaceful assembly and a freedom of association is usually associated with the right to attend a public demonstration while offering the public the right to strike on nearly any grounds. However, the strikes must be peaceful or else the demonstration may be imposed. It is very important to know that the Criminal Code of Canada prohibits the unlawful assembly and considers it to be a disturbance that results in fear for many members of the public. For example, in a case where a certain individual or group of individuals begin to burn posters on fire for a public demonstration, as this may result in fears of other members of the community. No, Section 3, 4, and 5 of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms reflects on the democratic rights of all citizens of Canada. Since the year 1982, the franchise, which is the right to vote, has been guaranteed to all citizens of the country of Canada. Now, however, there are some restrictions, for example, age and the type of residency, as well as, however, the voting rights are restricted based on the terms of age, which means that you must be above the age of 17, so 18 and older, as well as residency and citizenship. This is such a great thing to have in our nation, and it allows all members of the community to serve a greater purpose by allowing them to be involved in the politics for the greater good of their nation. Section 6 involves the mobility rights of all Canadian citizens. However, the rights of moving freely inside and outside of Canada are not entirely absolute. Different parts of Section 6 further specify the differences and outline the restrictions regarding the right to move freely throughout and inside and outside the country of Canada. For example, as a Canadian citizen, you have the right to travel to another country without the permission of the government on a specific occasion. Of the Charters reflects legal rights of individuals, meaning all citizens of Canada are divided into the following sections listed below. Of the Charter guarantees that every individual has the right of equal treatment by the law. And that is literally what Section 15 is, equality. That's what we need in a country like Canada, where democracy is important, where society is important, where people are important. No matter your race, gender, age, religion, sex, nationality, or ethnicity, under Section 15 of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, the law shall not hold any prejudice whatsoever, but only present the truth provided. For example, if you are a black man who has committed murder, or you are a white man that has committed murder, you will be held to the exact same sentence. The law shall look at both of you as exact equals. Section 16 of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms states the official languages of the country of Canada. In so, it states that the two official languages of Canada are English and French. All the laws in Canada must be printed in both English and French text, while all federal courts must be able to withhold the languages of English and French. So if you go into the country of Canada in a court and the judge is not able to comply with you in either the languages of English or French, that is against the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Section 32 of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms elaborates what the Charter applies to, and that if any law is passed of breaking a rule in the Charter, the government can easily take it down. Section 33 of the Charter states that in certain circumstances, the government has the ability to avoid the Charter. For example, in Quebec, the government passed a law that stated only signs will be printed in French text, which is not allowed for the Charter of Rights and Freedoms because it states that everything must be provided in French and English. However, the French government in Quebec surpassed this law by only providing signs that are printed in French. You have learned a lot today about the Charter of Rights and Freedoms and why it is so important in the Constitution of Canada, why it makes such an important fundamental part of us in our everyday lives as Canadian citizens, how it enables us to be one with our politics, one with our government, and one with our community. How important it is for every single one of us in society to grasp the knowledge of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms and understand it by believing this is what makes me a Canadian citizen. If you would like to contact us, our municipal, provincial, and governmental websites are listed below in the description, and you can go and inform them of how you were and how your experience was with our video today. Hopefully you all pass your citizenship test and have a lovely evening. Thank you for watching.